actually early. I mean, this is like a ConAgeddon first.
Apparently, apparently, I'm the only grounder here, or they're coming.
So far?
So far.
Yeah. I think we're supposed to have Lola and Jess, but I'm not sure.
This is a comfy chair.
I know. But you gotta represent your tribe since Tasia's not here.
Yes, Tasia had to go shoot. She has to go shoot.
Busy lady.
She is.
Yeah.
She is.
So how's your con been, year 5?
It's been great, and wow, the party was wild last night.
Who was there last
Actually, it was a first for me.
Lola, hi!
Come on out here.
Come on out, Flanery!
Hello, Lola.
It's Sunday, just do a walk out and hang out.
Yeah. You want this cool, this is like a nice chair.
No, I have this like
want this
lovely
giant
bench
bench?
thing that might be a takeover.
What's that microphone?
Hello, everybody. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning.
Okay, you were saying the party last night.
Yeah, I think I was like, you guys crowd surfed me, but then you also crowd surfed me face up, which is like, that's pretty awesome. I wasn't actually that terrified. I was sure you guys weren't going to drop me. So it was awesome.
That's good faith in your fans.
And you?
Yeah,
They held me up, right? I mean, that was not metaphorically, like actually.
Have you ever been dropped in a crowd surfing situation?
Well, the only place I've really ever crowd surfed is here, other than like kind of at like a concert once, but that was like, it was a totally different scenario, and like,
And as a reminder, each actor has signed their ConAgeddon poster, and you can actually bid on them at the ConAgeddon desk over there. Oh, look who's here! In Roan!
I'm giving you guys a nice place to sit over here.
Good morning. Jess, I have a little technical thing to do over here.
Yeah.
Good morning, sunshine. No heels today?
Good morning.
You can sit wherever you like.
Good mic.
Jess and I have a St. Patty's Day surprise. We're gonna work on it. So Zach, keep talking amongst yourselves. Sorry.
Oh, we're talking amongst ourselves. Yeah. Basically, since this is the grounder panel, I'm happy that you guys didn't throw me onto the grounder last night. I was crowd surfing. You guys missed the crowd surfing. I did the face up crowd surfing for the first time.
Okay.
Yeah, I know you guys. It's amazing. I don't know.
I would have done it, but I was wearing a skirt. Yeah, I'm just kidding, I didn't go.
It's probably not a good idea.
I went to Date Forward, Macarena with you guys.
Yes.
Someone told me that the Macarena is actually like, if you listen to the words, it's like, apparently, it's like not as wholesome as you would think.
I don't think it's a rated PG song to translate.
Yeah, it's apparently like,
My school dancing.
yeah, but apparently it's like about like a woman or something. I don't know. Apparently it's, whoever speaks Spanish maybe can explain it better than I can.
Hello.
I've never seen a Macarena more sexy than
There we go.
We're ready now. Jess and I were shopping the other day. We found St. Patty's Day colors for the girls. So
Cassie had a message the other day, or she called and was like, I need you to go get a hairbrush and nipple gloves. And we were like, Joe and I were together, we were like, go, well, okay. So she's like, go to the CVS, get me nipple cover. And so we did, we're like, we FaceTimed her, we found them, and so we figured that we would have our own, because they look like St. Patty's Days. And
I need these rollers. Can I put those in my hair?
yeah! Yes! Do yours too. So now we're, it's seasonal.
absolutely. Well, since all 4 of you lovely grounders are here and we have a limited time, I'm just gonna have people line up honestly at the mic. We need a mic, and then from Mike, there's a lot going on. And then you can ask them your questions until they have to leave to go do their thing. No, well, wherever you're scheduled next, Jess. But yeah, you should totally do Zach's curlers too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think mine's close.
Yeah, I'm gonna blow dry
Hey guys,
Good morning.
who was your favorite grounder to act with?
Well,
Right here.
well, certainly you are one of them. Rounders to act with. But I got to act with a couple rounders, right? Including Toss, including, all of the isolation, which is not any, including my mother, Brenda.
Clearly, I'm not his favorite. He doesn't want to pick favorites.
Like, who's your favorite kid? Like, I'm not the law.
Excuse me.
You're so democratic. Okay. Anyways, that was my answer. You didn't let me finish.
I did it for you.
Thank you, Jess. I'll do your hair for you. Yeah, Adina Porter was my favorite grounder to work with. Definitely. My Seda. She was my mentor, and she still is in my real life.
Also Tati. Is Tati a grounder?
What?
Tati.
What? Yeah. Tati. 100.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Tati was in season 2 of The Last of Us.
And let's not
I'm
forget,
here.
like, Alicia was like technically a grounder, right? So
You
that.
got to fight her. That was an amazing fight.
That was awesome.
Yeah.
So now yeah. A lot of awesome grounders. Yeah.
We had a big cast, so we don't pick favorites. We had a big cast, and they were all great now.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Ricky, of course. Yes.
I actually didn't really get to do much work with Ricky.
Hi.
Hello. All right. Who among the four of you do y'all think was the best at trig?
Trick?
Trig. Yeah. Just guessing. I know some of you didn't work together too much.
Weren't you? You were really good.
Not in your
No, I was horrible. Have you seen the bloopers?
Yeah, but everybody messed up Trick.
Yeah.
There's not a single person. Well, I nailed Trig too, and there's actually no bloopers of me messing it up, but I was just trying to be nice.
First trig together,
We
right?
did.
And we have to pause because you don't know what you're saying. So Zach would kind of, you pause and I'm like, okay, and then I talk, and then, so it seemed like a lot of like interesting long looks.
Okay, but
You'd be like, are you done talking now? My turn.
wait, can you tell them about your audition and how you nailed it to get your part and what your part was for your audition? Trig.
It was so much trig. Well, anyone that was a grounder on the show had to audition with regular sides for whatever their scene was, so in English, but in the script, it was always written in English, and then the trig was to the right of it. And so they sent me 6 pages of dialogue, like some was with Zach's character and some was with Clark. And I didn't, they sent it at like 7 p.m. at night for like an 8 a.m. audition. So already 6 pages of dialogue, English dialogue is enough. Then there was a whole other page of just trig. And the explanation, I was confused. I was like, so you want me to memorize this language, and then I do the 6 pages in English, do I also have to do it in trig? And it didn't really specify properly, because it had said you have to do the other language, so I ended up having to memorize then 7 pages of dialogue in trig in one night. And I didn't sleep. I stayed up all night working on this thing until the next day, and I walked in, and they're like, oh no, you didn't need to do 6 pages. Like, well, no one said that! So I had to, yeah, it was it was crazy.
But you nailed it and got the job. And here's Niylah. And look at me now.
Very impressive. Thank you.
My favorite thing about Trig is just like the way you look at the other person, like you're done, right? I'm gonna now start talking.
And sometimes we have to hold, do you remember like we'd occasionally hold up if you're off camera, like it written on our chest?
Yeah.
On things, because that would, it would change something last minute, and so they'd have to put in, like, that's a really difficult thing to memorize. So we'd have to write it out.
Well, it's a
and,
fake language, so.
If you miss one syllable, you're screwed.
Yeah.
Like, because you remember it in order, and if you just, it's like one syllable and it's all.
And I remember you and I doing a scene once, and they changed some things, and then so you just started speaking in like where I was like, and I think you were just
making it up. I was like, Tato, para, pato, para. And then like the director was like, great.
Because they don't know Trig either.
Oh my god, but then they ended up making us hold. We were both off camera for each other when we were doing our close-ups. So I just remember standing there holding, like you were Steven Seagal, I'm like holding a fucking thing. Dialogue written on it. And we had to switch off. We were both like, their business knows.
And then comes Octavia, comes Sky Crew, I don't give a shit. Cut.
Lots of comms in there. It was cool. But yeah, I just always remember like doing it with Tasya, and I would always be lucky enough for some reason they would always shoot my side of the Trig scene before hers, and then by the time they'd be on hers, I'd be completely have forgotten anything I was gonna say. You know, so like they'd be on her, so like it'd be over my shoulder, and she'd be like, and I'd just be like. I think I forgot it already. They were on this side and I had something happen. We were on horses, speaking Trig with swords and armies.
I feel like they were still trying to do the trick thing in season 3, and I feel like by season 4, they were like, they all speak enough English. They've been around.
They've learned English now.
They know now. They don't have to speak that anymore because we were a mess.
Good question. Thank you.
Great question.
Was it hard to like fight and act in like your grounder costumes? I saw chains, I saw furs, there was an extra with a bunch of license plates for armor. Like was it difficult to move around and stuff?
It was difficult to go to the bathroom in that, I'll tell you that.
Also, your cape was so long. I remember
It
you
was
like
big, yeah.
being like, we were filming a scene in this like underground thing at one point, and we were tired. It was one day, and you were annoyed, rightfully so, that we needed to keep going. And you were like, let's just go. And you backed, and you kind of made this like big announcement. And everyone was like, oh, we gotta move. And you were like, really? And you were saying it, and you just backed up like all intense, but then tripped on the cake. And like, you just like big moment and just like ate it. And then I remember the director standing there being like, okay, so let's roll. And then
Yeah, the capes.
it was too long.
Yeah, there's a lot of fabrics and things just
Tires,
things.
like over your shoulder.
A lot of tires
Remember my
over your
hair?
shoulder, right?
Remember my hair in like season 5? I had like 14 gems, or like there was like a toy ladder in there for some reason. There was also 17 braids and then 4 ponytails and like, I don't know, paper clips, rocks,
Yeah.
some like gemstones sprinkled in there. But then there's one, I had like my first fight scene, and it was like all to one side. I remember it took 3 hours. Remember poor Lindsay Dover was just like, we had that 6 a.m. in the morning, and I had a fight scene, and I had to like whip my head. But then I whipped myself in the face with like the toys with the rocks, and I was like, oh shit. And then like, part of the fight scene, I was like, no, it's just my hair. My hair.
Yeah, I think mine was pretty comfortable, but I did have like a random on the big jacket they gave me. There was like a random plastic skeleton of like a mouse inside of the fur, and I would always cover it in with the. I always like push it down so that because I hated it, and I'd like cover it with the fur. But in some shots that you can see, there's just like this weird.
You had an Ice Nation Ratatouille on your shoulder.
Little rabbit.
I do have to say though, my first outfit on it, there's furs and everything. Alright. Settle down!
What's going on?
And Patty's Day too over here.
I would agree.
But the costume department put insane hours into those pieces. Like it's difficult as it is for us to have to drag wet capes and everything around. I remember my first jacket was like they had spent 300 man hours on just getting the leather distressed enough. Like that's a long time for someone to spend on just one jacket. And you look at the background, like there were hundreds and hundreds of people whose costumes were, they put a lot of work into dressing us into things that we were then peeing all over
tripping all over.
Yeah, but
throwing.
no, that's a good point because on a lot of big, because technically, right, it's like this is a period piece with lots of background and lots of speaking characters and whatnot. And normally on a show like that, there's a much longer time period of production than we would have on like, you're talking about you're shooting an episode kind of at the same pace you would be shooting like a procedural in LA about like a cop or something.
Yeah.
And instead, it's not like as simple as that because they're creating an entire world from scratch all the time. And because of that, it's probably one of the most impressive feats I've ever seen in production. And how much they were able to costume, how much they were able to build, how much they were able to shoot, how much they were just able to wrangle all of us assholes to like get out there and do it.
Especially the actors. That's definitely the hardest part. Great, next question.
Hey, so how much time did you guys and like the rest of the cast have to hang out during the event? Or like even any plans before or after the event?
This weekend?
Yeah.
Wait,
Well,
how much time did we spend hanging out together?
Yeah, like how much time do you get to like hang out? Or...
We went to Kowloon's. We all went to Kowloon's and ate,
Loved it.
poo-poo platters and drank scorpion bowls.
Okay, you guys, can we just talk about the fact that the most expensive thing on the menu was a poo platter? Can you not come up with a different name for something I want to eat?
There must be another language involved. I feel like it has to be. I don't think. It's trick. That means very good. Very good food in trick.
Yeah.
It's Hawaiian.
It's Hawaiian. There we go. What does it mean?
Appetizer.
Appetizer. Here we go.
Okay.
It's P-U-P-U.
Oh, I thought.
Like, as in PU?
Marie, they don't have poo-poo platters in Canada?
I've never had one before. I'm
drank
Greek,
them
I don't
up?
know.
I just was actually, the biggest thing that concerns me is not the name, is it's that like gel, whatever that gel is they have on fire. I was like, that's gotta be poisonous. Like, what is this? It's a pink gel that's on fire and it's supposed to put food on. I was like, I don't know.
Okay, next question.
What was the most challenging scene for you?
Most challenging scene?
Oh, jeez. My most challenging scene, personally, was Lincoln's execution. Because he was not there that day. So they taped an X on a telephone pole, and they told me to look at that and cry.
Cry now!
And then seek revenge quickly in your eyes. So that was difficult, because... Yeah. Well, because she goes after Pike after that, right? So Octavia goes after Pike because she's so upset. But it was challenging for me because, I built a really solid relationship with Ricky Whittle, who played Lincoln. And then he wasn't there that day when he died. So I had to do it all by myself. But I think I pulled it off, no problem.
Anyone else? I mean, my hardest one was, day, well, it wasn't day one for me, but for me, it was going to do the fight with Lexa, because I actually hadn't really met that many people yet. Like, I'd only worked with, like, Eliza for a second, and I'd, like, met you outside of the little, like, hut you guys were in. But I didn't really know that many people, and they were basically just like, and I'd never met Alicia. We had almost zero rehearsals. They basically just sent me a video. And they were like, you're gonna do this 18 million move sword fight with Alicia out in front of like 700 people, and everyone's just gonna be watching and judging you. And so I was like, and then plus like I knew Alicia really wanted to do it, and you're always very concerned about hurting someone, and and all of that. So I think that was probably just the most challenging as far as just like kind of having to step up to, all right, well, I guess I'm gonna do this thing in theater and around here. Nice to meet everyone. I don't want to hit anyone with a sword. Usually at some distance. It's like that.
Remember when you and I filmed a scene where I had to yell really loud.
Yes.
That took us a long time. I didn't have a very loud voice, and I was still really nervous because I was really young. And then they were like, a little louder, please. And I was like, that took us a really long time. Either that scene or like one of my first days, I was filming the scene where Madi had to hide in this hole when the people were like chasing her and killing her with cars, whatever. And I was still new and I was really nervous, and it said that I had to cry and freak out. And I was like, guys, I'm really scared. I don't want people to see me cry. That's really embarrassing. And so what they did is I wasn't getting it, and I was super young, and I was like, I can't. I wasn't getting it. So the director came to me as I was hiding in this hole, which was in the actual forest. Like, this was a soundstage. This was on set. This was in the junkyard. Yeah. Middle of the forest. No service. Nothing. They sent my mom, because our trailers were like a 15-minute drive away. They sent my mom to the trailer 15 minutes away. So I had to like peek out the hole, and I was like looking for my mom, and they sent her purposely, and then the director was like, your mom just died, now cry. And I was like, really? And they were like, no, you do know, yeah, you do know who exactly who it is.
I didn't know that.
And then I started freaking out, and I was like, are you serious? Really? And I got there, I cried. And I was like freaking out.
Psych, everything's fine. We got a shot.
Yeah. And then also, you all of a sudden have a puppy, and it's dying too. And then they were like, hey, start rolling, okay, action. And then I got there, they didn't even use that tape, but that
was... Your mother just died.
Now cry! Action! I did it, and then they didn't use it. Anyway, Jess.
So many feelings about that. As a director, Jess, what do you think of that tactic?
I mean, that's one way to go.
Standards and practices have improved since then.
Probably. I think there's, other ways to direct than here. But, I mean, it worked, so I guess there's something to be said.
And my mom's okay.
I married Richard Harmon.
Yeah.
Inside joke.
Whoa!
You did not marry Richard, so you're good.
Yeah, we're good.
You gotta stop coming to
Could have just said that. What if your mom marries Richard Harmon?
Oh my god!
Yeah.
Well, that was what Richard said was his plan when you put saran wrap over his seat. His plan was to marry your mother to get back at you.
Which is like, that's really funny. Like, but he had to actually love her and marry her.
Yeah, it's like 20-year
The
plan.
shit was he was then going to take over my finances because he would be legally responsible for me as a minor, and then he was going to cause me to go completely bankrupt. And then he was going to divorce my mom, and then,
And take all your money.
take all my money.
And all you did was put saran wrap over his door.
This all sounds like child abuse to me.
You Harmons are dark.
Like the right repercussions.
Anyway,
You have a question?
Yeah, I was gonna just say, on another note, did you guys have a favorite battle scene that you filmed or liked that you saw come together after
I did a lot of battling, you're right. My favorite battle scene was, you are one crew, or you are the enemy of one crew. Choose! Or when Octavia fights Blood Reina. That was interesting to fight myself. Yeah, because I had to learn the fight twice, 2 different ways, so it was kind of confusing for me because I'm a bit dyslexic. But maybe it worked for me because I am dyslexic? I don't know. But it worked out. That was my favorite battle scene.
I don't think I have.
Oh.
Well, you battled JR.
yeah.
Pardon? You battled JR. I know, but I felt really bad because JR was really sweet, and after cut, he'd be like, oh, baby, are you okay? And like, give me a hug and stuff like that. And I was like, I just felt so bad. Okay, see.
I mean, kind of all of them, but I actually really liked our little team up thing. I mean, I know it was the end of it, but it was kind of, ConAgeddon was kind of cool. Just all the little individual battles we got to do, and then actually really, it was funny. We talked about I literally let Marie just swing a real sharp machete at the back of my head, and duck, and I kind of liked that because it was like the first moment of trust. Yeah, because they wanted to like, you know, I like coming around the corner and it's like it's supposed to come out of nowhere, and I like duck and it hits the wall and you see it like chip the brick, and like that was kind of cool. Like I really liked that because I'm like, it was weird, like it didn't seem like that big of a deal to me, but everyone was like, really? I was like, she's not gonna hit me. I was like, she'll just stop if she's not gonna hit me in the back of the head with that thing, right? Nope. And then it was good. And then we got to, you know, team up and play.
You know what that's called?
Trust.
Great question, thank you.
I have kind of a two-part question. One, what was the grossest scene for you to film? And for example, for me watching, it was the worms, and I just wanted to know if that was real. Like, did you have to deal with worms, or was it CGI, or what? But so I was just curious.
Well, I know I'm going to answer for Brie. My assumption would be when we were in the bunker for 6 years and had to do the eating cannibalism, the cannibalism scene. I just remember, can I tell them everything that happened?
You can tell them whatever you want.
So, I'm next to session, and we're just sitting there, and we all have to eat these things, and they've explained it to us. So, like, this is the food, the cubes, which are just like dried fruit. It was fruit that was kind of big. But I think when you add the idea of what it's supposed to be in the texture, I think the texture is what got her. But we're all sitting there, where it's like, hey, you need such an M. And Marie has to like get up and like yell at someone about them needing to eat, and then eats it herself. But every time she would have to eat it, we'd have to pause because she'd start eating it, and then we'd pause because she'd have to vomit into a can next to her, and like the rest of us are just like trying to stay in character, and Marie's vomiting, and then she'd go back up, pretend to swallow, and then finish the scene, which obviously the vomiting got cut out. And everyone else hated it too, other than Sachin and I, who were like, we cut, and
Human tastes great.
Go be eating, and it was yummy, but I feel like that's gotta be up there for you, because you literally were vomiting.
I don't even have to answer the question.
Lola, yeah. Heard it. The worms? What were the worms? Who was with the worms? Someone. Not me.
You were hiccuping during it.
Pardon? Wait, what?
Hiccuping during it.
Yeah, but they weren't like, oh, were they not? Did we have worms? I just know that there were worms in a car.
I think I was gone with the worms.
It wasn't anything. It was like the ones that were going to say, we have to like do a furrow and then furrow. Yeah, that was fake. Yeah, that was fake.
I don't think I did that many gross things. I don't think it was all that many gross things. Although for me, the grossest thing, kind of like story-wise, was we put like this poor dude in a microwave. And I was like, what the fuck is going on? I was like, we're really gonna microwave this dude? Does anyone else have any problems with microwaving people?
See-through coffin microwave. The show is so uplifting. Thank you for your question. Hello.
Hey.
Hi. So obviously the show was filmed in Vancouver. At the parts the in-universe is set at least like it's in-universe. At least the parts on Earth take place around DC, close to where I live. Now what I'm asking you is, if you could choose anywhere else to film the show, where would you like to film the show? Like near where you live, somewhere else, along shows, anywhere else, like where you would like to have the show.
Yeah, that's how that was cool. I mean, I don't know. I think Vancouver was a great place for for the show. But as people did mention, there are like the tree issues, like the different kinds of trees that exist in different parts of the world, and then they explain it by like time passage and different, climates. Well, no, it's just like she's saying, it's supposed to be around DC, but like there's not giant, like huge conifer forests around DC. You have a different type.
You can tell that's the part we felt the need to explain.
There was a glow in the dark forest
I'll never forget. Like it was like one of my first days with Eliza, and I'm like dragging her through like this giant forest, and then we like come across like a subway tunnel, and like I'm from the East Coast, and it's like East Coast subways, and I literally was just like Jason was there, and I was like, so like giant Western trees and East Coast subway station. And he was like, don't worry about it. All right.
Good question, thank
I
you.
don't know if you did, but Mount Weather is actually a real place. It's kind of near
Is it?
where I live. Yeah.
To be fair, they don't extract butter from butts or anything. It's not that kind of
My mind's blown.
It's a scientific building. Real science. Thank you.
It's a real place.
Oh, I love your shirt.
Thank you.
Wait, does that say what? Oh, that's what I thought.
Here.
I'm not sure, I'm not gonna say it, but it says CUNT for the adults.
See you next Tuesday.
Yes, we're-
There's some children.
It's a term of endearment in England.
St. Patty's Day.
If you guys, as yourselves, like not as your characters, could be from any clan, which would you choose, and a brief synopsis of why? Including one.
I would be part of the writer crew. For obvious reasons.
I'd be part of payroll.
Whoever didn't have to meet people.
Just, village crew, like director. The village is what we call the area where the people in charge pretend to do things.
What about crafty crew?
Oh, crafty crew. Oh,
Yeah.
we were crafty crew. Marie and I spent the majority of our time on set at craft service. Loved it.
Thank you.
Hey guys, so I was just wondering, so obviously the show had a lot of set pieces and a wide range of set pieces. I was wondering if you had a favorite, and if there was one, I know a lot of the outdoor ones where there was a lot of CGI involved, but if there were any that you thought were really impressive or really, large scale.
Sanctum was crazy, and then Allie's lab cost over $1 million to make, and like they had like several machines there that were actually like particle machines where they like spin molecules and do great, I don't know, science. Stay in school. Don't become actors. There were science molecules there. That set was that was a crazy set. For my favorite was just anytime we were on some sort of ship type thing, just because it's cool to be on a ship.
I know Sanctum was like incredibly massive. And it was totally real. Like a lot of times we had the soundstage, they would like build it and it would be fabricated. But Sanctum, we would have to like drive 3 hours into the like completely random forest, go even further in, and then it's just this huge mountain where obviously gorgeous views, and it's totally outside, and they built these huge castles, real playgrounds, real little boxes, the shipping containers that they made for those houses. That was awesome.
That was our designer, James. It was amazing.
There was on the soundstage this one cave. It was a fake cave that they made out of like plaster or something like that. I remember. Pardon?
I did see in that cave in the last.
You know the one, and it's like really small. Yeah, it's a fake cave. Well, actually, when I was really bored during like my lunch break, I think I was on my scooter, obviously, and I was like just minding my own business. I went into that cave. That was a very pretty cave. They did it really well, and I was just like fiddling around with it, and I saw this like really cool rock that looked shiny. It was like a fake rock, and I was like, I want to take this home with me. So I did. Where's the fake rock? I can take it. I don't think anything of it. It's like not that big. It like fits in right. It was on the wall of the cave. I took it, went home, finished the scenes. Next day, hey, can we get construction? The cave fell apart.
It was a load-bearing rock.
But here's the thing that doesn't make sense. I took out this like shiny stone. I think I still have it. I like took it back home with me to Toronto.
Lola, Madison, Griffin, Flanery.
But I didn't do anything. Like I took it
like it was.
That was really okay.
Delinquent.
I got like the electric collar and then I shot that one. Now it's no more. But there you go.
What?
Yeah, great question.
Yes, great question.
I really like the pillars. And I like to pull this a lot. Like, I guess I spent a lot of time there.
It's only because my last name is Avgeropoulos.
Yeah, that was
And my favorite thing about Polis, of course, was the train. Right next to it. You know, that was what's great. It would just you'd be doing like a big speech to the people, and there's just like a giant train. Just like flying by.
What were your least favorite set? Did you guys have to, you were gone at that point, but there was a butthole set, I called it the butthole, and it was on that weird planet that was ice, and we had to crawl through, we had to crawl, it was like an ice planet, and we had to crawl through, and then later we found out that it was like actually the intestinal tract of like a giant being.
What show is this?
It was the butthole. Yeah.
So it was actually.
It actually, yeah, it was. I
Like
kept
an
calling
ancient
it that, and then after we found out, I'm like, oh, it literally was the butthole set, and we had to crawl through it. It was like a bunch of it, and we got stuck, like, because we all had to be in
It
there.
was Shelby.
Maybe. I think so. I think Lindsay was there.
People who actually remember.
Yeah.
On season 7.
Season 7. So it was season 7. We had to military crawl through it, and there were whole portions of it that were completely enclosed, and then there was a middle area that was carved out, some of it, so that they could shoot us as if they were in the thing. And I had a panic attack in it because I was like stuck in the middle and we weren't moving, and then someone farted. Someone did. So it actually was the butthole. And we got stuck, and I like actually started having a panic attack. And they were like, "Hey, everyone, move forward!" Because we weren't rolling yet. So everyone had to slowly army crawl forward. And the director had to come and like calm me down, and because I was stuck in the butthole. Yeah, that did help. It was so. You're welcome for that anecdote.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
I'm really glad you explained that. I've always wondered how you guys did that. The butthole track. Yeah. It was a really impressive set because we had to go up on scaffolding and crawl into this thing and then crawl all the way through. It was a big distance that we had to actually do that, and then the whole middle part was carved out to shoot. Bless you. It was a great set. It just smelled and looked of buttholes. And it was season 7, so at that point we were like, we're actually in a fucking butthole now. Like, let's get out of here. Sorry, what was your question?
Okay, so you know, Monty has the Make Algae Not War, you know, apron on, right? And his whole plan for saving you guys from your war that will end the world is to get the algae to make the food grow so you don't have to go and then, you know, Marie burns the farm. Yeah. So anyway, if you guys in today's crazy, crazy world, we're going to have one thing that you say people should make instead of war, make algae not war. What would you say?
Children.
Make children not war.
Spanakopita.
What did you say? I don't know, I'm still stuck on buttholes.
Jenny's three-year brother said, shoot, whiskey, not guns.
It's so funny, I was like, beer?
The Harmon brain.
Again, taught well. Whiskey, not guns. That's good. Okay. Thank you. What's yours? She doesn't have one. She loves war.
We have 5 minutes, so
I think you're better than
questions.
to Lola.
So, out of all the people that you fought on the show, and the people that you didn't, who would you wish you could have had a fight with? Joe. Drop the mic questions. I'm sorry.
I would probably have to say Lexa, just because I think the fans would have loved to watch Niylah get her ass kicked.
Yes, we would.
And she would have. Yeah, that would have been fun. I liked my scene with Marie, and we weren't real fighting them, but we were like, she was training me fighting, and I enjoyed that.
I kind of wish we had a fake fight.
That would be called child abuse.
That's what makes it like.
Loves war.
I don't know. I think I fought everybody on the show. Yeah.
Did you ever fight Clark?
Total badass.
Did Octavia fight Clark?
No, actually.
No, never. Octavia respected Clark too much to fight her.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I always felt like Roan never really got Clark back for stabbing him in the stomach after he like saved her life. Like 3 people were gonna kill her. I was like, we should address that. The intro that would not have made it. Like, I don't know. I mean, I feel like I got to fight so many people, so I don't know. I feel like I did enough fighting. Thank God I didn't have fighting enough.
All right, and on an inside joke, your mom says hi.
Oh damn. Nice job. That's a mic drop.
Your mom has been brought up so many times.
All right. Okay. Hang on. After explaining the prank war with Rick.
Yeah, you really opened the door.
No, I was explaining that in like my VIP meeting, right? And then someone, I can't remember, someone was like, oh, you know, like, I bet everyone had a crush on your mom. Like, I bet she's really pretty, like, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, yeah, whatever, she's okay. And then he goes, how did this happen? Anyway, he just goes, he was like, yeah, she comes to my town a lot. Like, I know her pretty well. And then all of a sudden, he's marrying my mom. And then he's like, move over, Richard. I'm your new stepfather now.
I said your mom gotta stop coming to Newmarket, Ontario. And she's like, you know my mom? And I'm through the Milano envelope.
I believed it. I believed my mom started coming to Newmarket.
She's like, are you my new stepfather? And I'm like, it's just a joke.
She completely fell for it, yeah. My poor mother has no idea.
I'm gonna send her a message on Instagram. I'll be like, are you watching?
She would love it.
Yeah.
She would love it.
Okay, next question. We have 2 minutes.
All right. Not who the best or the most badass grounder is. Not the best character. Who do you think is the quintessential grounder, and why?
Well, you know, when I started on the show, I had to, you get like, when you're doing the trig, someone sends you, what's his, I forget his name, who writes the trig, he sent you the
David.
recordings. David, he sent you the recordings. But that's kind of the way he pronounces it. And so I would watch the show and try to see, like, how are people doing this, and is there like accent to it? And I kind of took my cues off of like basically your trig and Ricky's trig. I did a little bit of like seeing the way they did it, because to me as I was coming, I was like, these are people that were reading that way. So I don't know, but in some way I felt like for me, like, a lot of like I listened to like because I was like, oh, he's got the grounder here. I wanted there to be some sort of continuity. And then I was also like, are there different accents from different places? I was like, maybe his a little bit more on the like Jamaican sounding over here a little bit. And so I don't know if that's a good answer, but that's kind of where I looked when I first came on the show for that kind of video.
Great, thank you. Mine was the best. All right, we have to wrap it up. We're already over our time, so let's get in these questions. Let's get in these questions.
I was just gonna ask, we all know that you got your eye hurt in a fight. Did anybody else have any injuries, or did you have any other injuries? Yes, crazy amounts of injuries. My foot still clicks, my ankle clicks from like one of my first getting beat ups. everyone got hurt at some point or not. You kind of can't help it when you're doing that amount of stunts. Like I got thrown into a wall.
I actually never got hurt.
No, you're calm down.
No, that was serious.
I know
That's where
it's
he's injuries for him.
You got his injuries for him.
No, that was serious. That was like, I mean, like, she's lucky to have an eye. That was.
There's one scene randomly where Madi starts wearing a glove. And I don't think it was like shown, but and like my hand was always behind, but like if it came out, I started wearing a glove. And that's because on this stupid scooter, in between like shots or something, I was running around, and we have these like covers over the wires, you know those like things? I hate you so bad, and I like cut my hand open to the point where I was bleeding like pretty extensively. And I was like, oh my god, but this is like totally my fault. Like, oh my god, I'm gonna get fired. So I took like this like fingerless glove that I found. That was only once. It was on a different hand. I had a fingerless glove at a different point, but then I stopped wearing the glove, and then I brought the glove back for one scene. And that was it. But it was like also like the entire scene I had to be serious, so I was just like this the entire time. I'm like, Clark, we have to save them or something like that. And it was just because my hand was just gushing with blood. And I don't think anybody ever found out that that was my fault.
Ah, nice job.
Yes.
All right. We do have to wrap it up, so one last question.
Are you guys aware of any like deleted storylines or scenes that you wish made it onto the show?
I am not aware.
Nor am I.
Nor am I. I'm friends with all the writers. I have no idea. I've never been any.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like every
That's a
scene
good
I
question,
shot,
though.
every scene I shot is in the show.
Right.
I mean, I feel like there wasn't much drama.
There was a lot dropped.
There was.
You're not aware that they cut out all your scenes?
Maybe they did. I don't
Just
know.
kidding.
We were over a lot. And we went over a lot. I don't know when we were editing. But it was often when that happens, they usually just take dialogue out of
Existing scenes, so they kind of re-edit the scenes that we have and shorten them when that happens. They don't often pull full scenes out. I mean, I'm sure that happened, but they would have needed to occasionally. But I don't think it really affected any, from my knowledge, I don't think it really changed any storylines.
Okay, thank you guys.
Yeah. Well, let's thank our grounders. Awesome, yeah. And we should be back shortly with the Bob panel.